Could mean their family misses their next meal.
It's sick. It's sick the way that their productivity is literally pitted directly against their health and their life.
Even as the historic heat wave scorched the Pacific Northwest, thousands of immigrants went to work in fields, farms, and nurseries. Sebastian Francisco Perez was one of them. He immigrated from Guatemala to support his wife.
She wanted to start fertility treatments, so we came here to save up money to go back and help her pay for that.
After moving irrigation lines at Ernst Nursery and Farms in St. Paul Saturday, workers found Perez unconscious and dying in the field. Oregon OSHA listed his death as heat-related.
Heat death, heat illness, it is entirely preventable.
Farm worker advocates say they asked the state to adopt a mandatory emergency rule and standards before the heat wave to protect people working outside in extreme heat.
It needs to be treated like the emergency because it is. It's a crisis.
Some of the things that we would like to see included in any kind of emergency rules or standards are pretty basic, frankly. What we want to see is access to cold and clean water at the work sites for outdoor workers that are provided by the employer. We also would like to see access to shade that is going to be adequate to protect all farm workers on the shift and at the site that is close to the fields.
Advocates also want to see frequent paid breaks when temperatures are above 90. Oregon OSHA is investigating whether there were any workplace violations, which could take up to 4 months. OSHA can cite employers for not protecting workers during extreme weather, but the specifics about how to protect them are left up to the employer.
There needs to be enforceable binding requirements that if the employer fails to provide the necessities of life to these people, that there, is going to be some element of being able to hold them accountable when these disasters hit.
When Governor Brown ordered state offices to mitigate climate change last March, Oregon OSHA worked with the Health Authority to come up with specific rules and standards to prevent heat illness. But the pandemic delayed the effort, and a formal rule proposal isn't expected till September.
If we would have had some of these things in place, it could be that Senor Sebastian Francisco Perez could be with us here today.
Morgan Romero, KGW News.
A brush fire near the Dalles is now under control. The Sunset Valley fire started burning last night. It destroyed several buildings. That includes a barn, outbuildings, some vehicles, and part of a local cherry orchard. The flames also burned about 1,000 acres. Thanks to the work of more than 100 firefighters who were part of the initial attack, no one was hurt and no homes were lost. That fire was burning not far from the Wrentham Market fire, which broke out earlier this week near Duker. Firefighters have it nearly 80% contained now. Officials have also gotten a better idea of the damage and say the fire burned just over 7,200 acres. That's lower than the initial estimate. The fire destroyed at least 2 buildings, an outbuilding, and a barn near a home, but the home and a historic abandoned schoolhouse were saved. There was also a third significant fire burning in the region. The Rattlesnake Fire is on the Warm Springs Reservation. It's burned more than 5,000 acres and is still only about 10% contained. That fire started Wednesday. Some roads and a campground in the area are closed. Let's bring in meteorologist Joe Ranieri now for a look at fire weather conditions as we go into the 4th of July weekend and our first forecast. Joe?
Hey there, Lowell. The conditions aren't going to get any better.
Hello.
Especially throughout the central and eastern side of the state, where they're going to be under excessive heat warning heading into the next couple of days, and it's been in effect most of the week as well. Here's a look at some of the watches and warnings. West of the state, all is calm, but still, we're calm in terms of the watches and warnings, but we're still warm and very dry throughout much of the Pacific Northwest. That red color is the fire warning, and that magenta color in your Baker City, that's the excessive heat warning. How hot will things be getting over the next couple of days? Temperatures will be anywhere from about 95 to just over 100 degrees for both Saturday and into Sunday.
I guess Montreal lost the
Stanley
Cup.
Again, that heat advisory throughout Central Oregon and into Southern Oregon as well. Temperatures on the climb, and they've been running pretty hot here the last 5 to 6 days or so. So as we look into the holiday weekend, starting off tomorrow, temperatures throughout the metro area will be right around the upper 80s. We'll be surprised if we're looking at readings right around 90 degrees. It'll be just as nice for the 4th of July on Sunday and heading into Monday as well. We stay sunny and warm. And speaking of warm, that's exactly what we were out there earlier this afternoon. About 10 degrees warmer than what we saw yesterday afternoon. That marine layer yesterday that never burned off, well, it burned off earlier today. We saw a daytime high today of 86 degrees, 85 in Vancouver. Scappoose, you saw temperatures in the upper 80s as well. As we go into the later part of tonight, we'll kind of see temperatures cooling off right around the upper 50s.
Why did my
low
phone
60s.
just
Starting
die
things off,
again?
well, it was relatively pleasant for your Saturday morning with temperatures right around the low to mid 60s, and then we'll slowly start to see your temperatures warm up. Again, the heat will really be sticking around the high desert, Bend and Redmond, and along the Oregon-Idaho border as well. I'll talk more about the heat and when we'll be seeing some cooler conditions. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Joe. And ahead of this holiday weekend, with that hot and dry weather in the forecast, fire crews across the state are hoping people don't light fireworks. Portland Fire and other agencies are putting up signs in city parks to remind people of the
Now
fire
the phone
danger.
turned back on.
They say dry
What?
conditions like this usually don't happen until August.
We have one of the largest parks in the nation, Forest Park. We do not want a wildfire to start. And right now, all the vegetation, the trees, the fields basically are primed to be lit up.
Both Portland and Multnomah County have banned the use and sale of fireworks. People are also urged not to travel to smaller neighboring communities to light fireworks. Those areas have fewer resources to fight any potential fires. We mentioned the fireworks bans around Portland, but this is far from the only area with a ban in place. You can find a full list on kgw.com. Oregon officials say the state has reached a key milestone in the COVID vaccination effort. 70% of adults in the state now have at least one shot. That covers more than 2.3 million people. Additionally, new numbers are giving us an idea of the vaccine's effectiveness. State officials say 92% of Oregon's recent COVID cases involve people who are not vaccinated or aren't fully vaccinated. Amazingly, nobody was seriously hurt after a car drove through a homeless camp in Salem today.
What the
The
hell?
driver took the Market Street exit off I-5 too fast and then crashed into the camp. She then went through a fence, across Market Street, hit another car, then a pole, and finally came to a stop. Luckily, she missed all the tents in the camp. One person does have minor injuries. The driver was cited for reckless driving. We have an update now on a police shooting near Salem. A suspect was hurt, and another person is on the run tonight. Police say it started last night when they tried to pull over 22-year-old Irfinson Bossy along Highway 22. It was related to a shooting investigation. Police say Bossy then rammed a police car and tried to escape. A detective shot at Bossy's car. Bossy was hit, but is expected to survive. A passenger in the suspect's car ran off and hasn't been found yet. This is an amazing story. Two pilots had to be rescued off the coast of Oahu after a cargo plane went down shortly after takeoff. Early this morning, pilots of the Boeing 737 radioed in for help with engine trouble, then made an emergency landing in the ocean after both engines failed. Both pilots were pulled from the water. They remain in the hospital with serious injuries. Sprinter Sha'Carri Richardson's Olympic hopes are up in the air after she tested positive for marijuana. Richardson says she used marijuana before her 100-meter race at the Olympic trials in Eugene. While it is illegal in Oregon, it's banned by World Anti-Doping Agency rules. Richardson says she was devastated after a reporter told her that her biological mother had died.
I apologize as much as I'm disappointed. I know that when I swim on the track, I don't represent myself. I represent a community that has shown me great support, great love. And to y'all, I feel y'all, so I apologize for the fact that I need to know how to control my emotions or deal with my emotions during that time.
Richardson has accepted a 30-day suspension ending on July 27th, and that means she won't be able to run the 100 meters, but could potentially run in the women's relays if she's picked up by U.S. Track and Field. Coming up next here on this special edition of KGW News, a hike along the crown jewel of the gorge, back and as busy as ever. Plus, different spots, same great music.
Damn it! The stupid phone keeps turning on and off.
I don't know if the Portland community realizes this, but there's a war going on in the streets. Enough's enough.
What do you see as the solution to dealing with gun violence? This is an investment for the long term, right?
It's not going to be easy, and it's not going to be overnight.
Portland's been under a housing year, and it impacts everyone. We're giving you a voice. We're looking for solutions, and we are asking for change.
Armco gas is formulated to optimize your fuel economy. And you won't have to spend an arm and a leg filling up.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Armco optimizes your fuel economy.
I've travelled all over the country talking about saving with Geico, but that's the important bit, isn't it? Showing up, saying, hello, fancy a nice chat. And then we talk like two old friends about sticky buns and all the savings you could get by bundling your home and car insurance. But here's the real secret. Eye contact. Do you feel that? We just had a moment. Who thought it?
Geico. Save even more when you bundle home and car insurance.
Fred Meyer has been proudly serving customers and supporting communities in the Pacific Northwest for 99 years. And last year, with your help, we donated more than $2 million to local organizations and provided 5 million fresh meals to our neighbors in need.
To all of our Fred Meyer associates and customers, thank you for everything that you've done to support your local Freddies and your local communities for 99 outstanding years. None of this would be possible without you.
Armco gas is formulated to optimize your fuel economy. And it can help you save a pretty penny.
You saved me.
Armco optimizes your fuel economy.
Welcome back. If you're looking to get outside this weekend, the Columbia River Gorge is a popular place to be, especially if you like to hike. After months of being closed, the very popular Eagle Creek Trail is back open. And as Devin Haskins shows us, it's already getting a lot of views.
Hikers have been waiting months to get back out on the Eagle Creek Trail, and they say the views are better than before.
Yeah, we just found that they had opened this yesterday, and I've been waiting for 3 years to come here.
Robert and I is like many hikers, excited to experience the crown jewel of the gorge.
Well, it's one of the most beautiful hiking experiences you can do